Hey there, welcome back friends. Let's continue from where we have left. In our last video, when we were making use of this annotation many to one, there was a crash. Now let us try to understand why there is crash. Now friends, even though this brand ID column is nothing but a int entity, but if we are referring to a many to one relationship, we are not referring to a column with int entity. Let me symbolize this using this particular database table structure. If we are making use of a int field, int variable, the int variable may symbolize the brand ID field in our products table, in the local table. But when we are talking about this many to one relationship, indeed we are referring to a table which is not local. We are referring to a table which is a foreign key, and we must give the address, we must symbolize, we must give the information related to the referenced table. As a result, we won't be able to make use of this particular annotation on a primitive data type. Rather, we need to make use of this particular annotation on a entity class object. So definitely that is something which we need to know. Now as a result, as this annotation is based on a object of a entity class, column annotation cannot be used with many to one annotation. So in here, let us get rid of this annotation column. Let me comment this out. Apart from that, in here we won't be making use of int brand ID. Rather, we will make use of object of our brand entity class. This class is symbolizing the table brands, so we will definitely make use of object of brand entity type. So it would be like brand entity. Alright, so this looks good. Alright, now friends, whenever we are making use of a object in here, object of entity class, there should be a relationship, and that relationship is many to one, which is cool. But we must also join in the relationship. We must apply a join based on the columns. So in here, in place of column annotation, we will make use of a annotation which is join column. Right? Now the name of the column is already here. Name is brand ID, which is perfect, and we would like to apply the join on brand ID. Now there is one thing. We will apply the join on the column brand ID which is available inside our table brands, right? So in here, if I show you the attributes which are available for the annotation many to one of the attribute is target entity, and inside this particular attribute we can give the information of the entity class which we are referring. So it would be like brand entity dot class. Alright, so now Hibernate know that this relationship is based on the entity class brand entity and the column where we will find the referenced key. We will find the foreign key is brand ID, and we will find this inside the object brand entity. So whatever information Hibernate need is inside these three statements. Now because of these three statements, there will be like couple of errors. Now let me show you. We have this getters and setters for brand ID. These are of no use now, and now let me again right click, navigate to source, and we will generate getters and setters for brand entity. Alright, so now this brand entity is a object, right? Let me save the changes. This brand entity is a object, so definitely we need to also make a small little tweak when it comes to our DAO layer. So let me show you. In here we are dealing with product entity class, which is okay, but in our product entity class we are also working with brand entity. As a result, we must also add the annotated class brand entity inside our configuration, and this is fairly easy. So it would be like add annotated class, and in here we will call in brand entity dot class. Alright, so the configuration part is done, and in fact we are all set. So let us quickly run this application and let us see how this particular relationship many to one will impact our response. So let us quickly run this application. So I will right click, run this on server. Alright, let me quickly navigate to Postman and let me hit the URL where brand's ID is 2, and we are trying to fetch all the products where brand ID is 2. Alright, and here is the response. Now this is amazing because not only we are getting the information related to products, rather we are also getting the information from the brand entity object, and we are getting the information as brand ID and brand name. So we are getting a array of responses. The JSON response has a JSON response inbuilt again, so there is a hierarchy, and definitely this is useful. Now friends, this particular feature many to one is something which is a hibernate feature, and we won't dig more into the relationship part. We will definitely jump into JAX-RS in our next video, and we will try to understand couple of more advanced features of JAX-RS and how we can handle our resource more efficiently. Alright, so something interesting is coming up in our next video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.